Okay.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. It's Sue Greenwald. I'm with the Empowered Light Holistic Expo, and I'm here with Gabriel Weber and Joel Straup. And they've been at the expos. Gabrielle has been a sought-after speaker, and Gabrielle and Joel run a wonderful booth together. Hi, guys. I thought you might want to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about what you're doing at the expo.
Okay, I will blabber first, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we have an aura photography booth, and we take pictures of people's energy fields. Actually, it's Gabby's fault that this happened. I took her and two of her friends. I had three females in a car in about 1995, and we went to New York City to a holistic expo. And the last booth here at this expo was an aura photography booth, what we have now. And before everybody's picture was taken, she looked at me and she said, and she looked around me and she can see auras. She's amazing. So she looked around me and she said, wow, you have a lot of orange. But when they took my picture, mine came up as orange, okay? One of the other women, she said, was next, and she said, oh my God, she has a lot of blue. Hers turned up as blue, and finally the third one was violet, and Gabby got it exactly right before the picture was taken. So I was like, wow. And so what we did was we investigated the technology and how it works, and we were so satisfied that we bought a camera. So that's kind of the story, Sue.
Excellent, excellent. And I know everybody always comes every expo to have their aura photography done. And so basically they sit there with their hands on a cradle for a few minutes, and you take their picture, and then you give them a reading kind of what the colors mean and how,
Yes.
yeah, what their energy
Yes.
represents.
We actually did two, we talked to two colleges about aura photography, East Stroudsburg State and Towson State in Maryland. And they were interested in it. They knew it was just technology. You put your hands on hand plates. It measures your electrical energy. Every color is a different measurement of electrical energy in nanometers. So again, it's just very precise technology. And then we interpret it from that picture they get.
Yeah.
Which is like a Polaroid picture. Well, it's Fujifilm now. But, and then everybody, Sue, has a signature color that they carry with them. And that tells a lot about them. So oranges are a signature color of somebody that needs to be extremely creative. Somebody that has a lot of yellow as a signature color likes to work with people, likes to pull people together for a common cause, leadership. But everything has its different interpretation. So it helps people understand themselves.
Yep. Excellent. And Gabrielle, what do you do at the booth?
At the booth, well, Joel does the aura photography, and then we have a few people helping us with that too. And then I do readings and healing work there. So I'll do like mini 15-minute readings or healings, depending on what people want, or I can do a combination of. And for myself, the readings, talking about the readings first, because I do a combination a lot of times of both reading and healing work. Since a child, I've always wanted to help others. And at one time when I was about 13, 14 years old, I started to see auras, and I started to see them just like they would just float out of me. Like I would just see them and like, oh my gosh.
She's very accurate too.
And I knew what they were because I had started reading about it when I was 8 or 9 years old. My sister was into astrology, all this stuff, and Casey, and I would always want to do what she would do. So I would read voraciously, and I read books about auras when I was 9, 10 years old. So when I started to see them, it wasn't weird to me. Like I knew exactly what was happening. And so that went along, and as I grew, I wanted to help people, but I got a degree in psychology from Villanova, and then I also got a degree in holistic health because I like to help people spiritually, emotionally, and physically. So what had happened after college is I worked as a counselor therapist for a while, but then I found out it wasn't enough. Like I wanted to do more, and I didn't know whether I wanted to go get my master's or continue or what. Then I had a car accident where I died, and I went to the other side.
Wow.
And on the other side,
In this lifetime, you died and came back.
yeah,
A near-death experience.
I have a near-death experience.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and what happened was I was with the angels, and I was there like, oh, this is so nice. That I said, boy, I would like to stay here. And I remember that so vividly. And then I looked at them and I said, but I have to go back. They nodded and they said, yeah, we think you're supposed to, or you should. And so I started to go through this tunnel thing that a lot of people talk about. And then when I realized I couldn't open my eyes, and I was back through the tunnel, and I hear people yelling, get her out of the car's going to blow up. Well, my car was on fire, and there were the people there, and I knew they were kind of like angels that were supposed to help me if I had decided to stay. Like, I mean, they were physical body people, but someone had a fire extinguisher who had stopped, and I don't know eventually, because all I could do was hear. I couldn't move my body. I couldn't open my eyes. I thought I might be paralyzed. I knew I had just come from the other side. So it was very terrifying in one way to think like, oh my gosh, I can't move. Eventually, I was in the hospital and I could open my eyes up, and they thought I had a fractured skull, and then they took another x-ray, and then it didn't look fractured. It looked fractured, then there was no fracture. So eventually, after I was sent home eventually, and then I was in back therapy. I had broken ribs. I had terrible stitches all over the head, everything. I should have actually died. Like, people who saw my car said there's nobody that lives through that. My car was smashed in half.
And her car was a Carmen Ghia, too.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it happened on the Schuylkill Expressway, and it wasn't even her fault. Somebody hit her from behind.
Yeah.
Awful.
And so the car was smashed in half. The back seat right behind my neck was where the engine was wound up.
Oh.
So, people said, how did you ever live? And how could you even walk or anything? And so I knew that it was, a miracle in so many ways. And then Mother Mary appeared to me around that, like it was within 12 hours of the accident. I saw her in front of me, and she would shine brightly. But she came to me in a way like the Star Trek movies show, when you would kind of appear and disappear, and they would zoom them up.
Materialize or whatever.
Yes, it was exactly kind of like that, materialize in front of my eyes. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're Mother Mary. And she had said to me that it would be okay, that I would go through a process, a difficult process, but that, things are going to be all right, and that she would be guiding me. So I did go through a 3-year difficult process of constant back therapy for 3 days a week for about 3 years. And so I went on the journey of healing. And so I worked with more natural elements of healing. And I got a degree in holistic health from Rosemont College, a certificate also, besides my psychology degree. And, after that, my healing abilities increased, my intuition increased. So I wanted to help people more deeply, and I knew that. And so as the years went on, my purpose was to help people in many levels as I could. And eventually, it's like I just was doing readings, healing work. So it just expanded through the years. And so now I do a combination of readings or healings. People can have readings, they can have healings. I do channel Mother Mary. I channel a group called the Ancient Ones. And recently, this is interesting, I'll tell you this story. I have been receiving these orbs. And I had gotten them before, but they're coming in like all the time now. They're beautiful blue orbs. And I see them right in front of me. And it happens when I do readings, healings. Even when I'm just talking to people sometimes, I'm not in a reading, any healing, and they flash in front of me. and they'll maybe flash sometimes for 5 or 6 seconds. And it is a group entity that is there, that is helping me with healing work, sending healing. Whoever I'm talking to will get the healing from that group being. And whatever is being said at the time is truth. It means I'm supposed to accent what is being said. Like the other night, something happened. I was watching a show. It was like Ancient Aliens. I was watching on a Friday night around 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And they were talking about Mars and about how people had gone from when Mars had a nuclear explosion, that people went from Mars to Earth. Well, the guides would flash me the blue orbs and they would just flash. So I knew that was very true. And so what happens a lot is people, when people talk to me in readings or healings, or it just happens, and they flash, I have to accent that in a reading or a healing. I have to say to them, look, this is very powerful. This is important for your life path. And then I flow with whatever needs to be told.
Right. Right.
So that's one aspect. Then another aspect is with the healing work, I'd say in the last year, it's gotten even more intense where my physical heart, there's nothing wrong with my heart, but I physically feel heat going through me to other people when healing is going in at this very, very deep level. Some people have felt it. Like I would feel heat going in from my heart into a person's back before anything was even said. And I said, do you feel some heat in your back? Do you have some back problems? And they would say, yeah, I feel the heat. So some people will feel it, some might not. Not everybody is extra sensitive that way, but so this is kind of where I am now, is these blue orbs come in as I grow, and I get the heat in my heart. And what I like to do is help people, guide them on their path, help them clear their stuff. And with the lecture, I think what I'd like to say is that I want to help awaken people in any which way that I can.
That's a great way to say it.
Because it's like a sense of, hey, if I can help you heal whatever it is and help you awaken in whatever sense that you need, that's what I want to do. And in different people, it's going to be different. So, but everybody will get what they need when I work with them.
I know that in the time that you've been coming to the expo, I've seen you evolve in what you're doing, morph, and that's pretty interesting and exciting to witness.
Yeah, and I have to tell you something else that just happened. This is really interesting. I have a picture. Actually, it's on my website page. If you go to the front of my website, you'll see a picture of me with like a blue shirt and a black background.
Yeah.
Right. And gosh, I went and I had printed out that picture the other day for a reason. I said, oh, I need to print out that picture for something. And as I looked at it, there was an orb next to my head that was not there when that picture was taken like 6-7 years ago.
That's cool.
So I now have a picture of myself with this orb, bluish white orb, like about, this far away, right in front of my head, kind of like up to the side.
Cool.
So I thought that was interesting because I see so many blue orbs now, and it showed up in the picture. So I might ask my web designer to put it on my website so that people can see it.
That's very cool.
So.
Well, tell us a little bit about your talk. You're doing a talk Saturday morning, April 27th at 11 o'clock in the morning. Can you tell us what people can expect when they go to the talk?
I think with the talk, and sometimes even though what I have written I will do, but it changes as we grow even day by day. And it is, again, it's about awakening, but it's called opening your hidden codes. And my guides work with me, and I was told that I will open in each person, some of their hidden codes. Now, that's opening your DNA. We have 12 strands of DNA, so that these codes are attached to your 12 strands. And there's a lot of codes that are closed in us. We all have, there's various kinds of codes. We all have codes, personal codes. We have collective codes, universal codes and personal codes. So what will happen is we will open up a collective code and personal codes in everyone. So that, again, it's an awakenedness. What do the codes do? Once we awaken these codes through a meditation, I'll do a meditation, a frequency, a light language, energy. I'll be quiet, I'll talk, I'll do an activation with the whole group, which means that I will bring images in. So I will say some things, I will do a meditation energy that will bring the frequencies of the hidden codes in each person out so that they are more awakened in whatever that person needs. So one person might get more psychic, one person might feel a little better about themselves, or everyone may feel better about themselves, but each one also gets like a personal energy of what they need. But it's all about awakening no matter what. So the codes are part of our divine nature that we are awakening through love, through higher consciousness. So it's higher consciousness awakening through meditation, words, visualizations, light sound languages.
I know
for me.
the last couple of expos I get so many positive comments, and I think I told you this. One expo, I literally got either 3 or 4 calls the same day about you. People commenting specifically about you, and I thought, I actually asked somebody, why did somebody ask you to call? And they were like, no, because it was so many people on the same day about you. It was so interesting. So what you're doing is really affecting them in a positive way. Isn't that exciting?
Yeah, I think it is. And I'm hoping that this, every year I grow. Every year I feel different in being able to say, okay, well, how can I help them today?
Yeah.
How can I help this group that is guided to see me so that I can open their channels of their love, their light, their positive energies of their empowerment and the light that shines within them, and to heal these traumas or judgments that we carry within ourselves, and to bring that light deeper in.
She helped her mother live to be 102 and a half. So, and we kept her in her own home. So we took care of her for 10 years. And so Gabby has a real amazing gift of being able to help people, not only on a physiological level, physically to help them with their food choices and extra supplements, but on emotional and other levels too. So she has that amazing gift to be able to do that. And so we were watching over her mother all those years. And so I got a song that came through me, I'm watching over you. That actually came through. So give her a verse, Gabby, or is it?
Sure.
Okay, shall we give Sue a verse? I'm watching over you. Thunder and lightning just won't get through. 'Cause I'm watching over you. And if you lose your way, I'll find you night or day. You will always shine in the memories of time. And the seasons will pass their magic due to you. 'Cause I'm watching over you. That's what we did to your mother. Thunder and lightning.
Beautiful.
Won't get through. 'Cause I'm watching you. And there's another verse, but that's one.
I remember at one expo, Joel, you had your guitar and you were playing.
Yep.
You did a little thing, but I know you had something to say earlier that I kind of cut you off. Does anyone remember what that was?
That won't be to me.
What do you mean, Joel or me?
Joel. Yeah.
Oh, Joel,
I don't know.
Yeah, did I? Were you
I
going to
don't-
say something about that?
Yeah,
Oh,
I went out here and I grabbed a picture of Gabby and myself in the water, and she has all these lights shining on her. If we could see something like this.
It's got a little bit of glare. Oh, but I do see it. Yeah.
And you see all the lights around her there?
Yeah.
Somebody took a picture and they showed it to us. Like a couple days later and said, oh my God, look at this. And it wasn't that way when they saw us in the water there.
Yeah.
So there were a whole bunch of orbs around you there.
Yeah.
You can see.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
yeah.
So
So I just wanted to talk a little, about the lecture and saying that I think it'll be really good, and I hope that, people will come and whoever can receive
right.
what is right for them.
Right.
And like I said, I don't know that, because there's so many orbs that I see now and all kinds of new things happening. Like I said, every year the growth is different for all of us. I think we all grow always and every day. So sometimes the lecture in me changes. Like I'll have it said that, okay, I'm going to work on this and this and that. And a couple days before or days before, I start getting all these other new things, because the guides will upgrade me sometimes right before, a day or two before the lecture, so that the energy of the people who are coming into the lecture will already start receiving it.
Exactly.
So some people start receiving the healing and the transformation even like 2 or 3 days before. So I wanted to just say that too.
So basically, people that come to the meditation will experience, we'll call it a clearing, a meditation, and then an activation.
Yeah, it's all of the above. It's clearing, meditation, it's activation. It's me talking a little bit about how things also work energetically in their system. So I'll just talk a little bit about that. I'll also do a circuitry clearing, where I'll bring circuitry, crystalline circuitry. And so there's a new healing energy that flowed into me, and I'm not sure what I'm going to call it. The guys are telling me something like quantum circuitry, or I don't know exactly yet, but it'll be in that vein. So there's a whole new frequency coming in that there also will be getting. It's like okay, so the way it came to me just recently was like a zigzag, like lightning. It's like when lightning comes in and comes down, only it comes down very powerfully into you and into your heart. So there will also be a special heart activation, and it's like a lightning circuitry that goes like right down in that I received, and it will go through everyone where it opens the heart center even more, this light circuitry. And I'm just seeing a lot of lights right now. So it's already happening right now.
It feels like you are going to be helping so many, and I'm just so happy. It's exactly what is needed. And so all of your trauma and suffering basically converted you to someone that's really dedicated her life to helping others. And with Joel, you both make a great team, And I know when I go by your booth at the expo, it's jammed with people, and you even have a waiting room.
We do.
You have a waiting room, and I know a couple of times it's been insane to even know who's next in the waiting room. It's so funny, but it's exciting. It's exciting.
Yeah,
It's all good.
it is. Thank you. And we're looking forward to it, and I think it'll be great, for everybody, and sending a big ball of light into it already, and for everybody to receive.
Excellent.
For,
So to recap, Gabriele will be speaking at 11 o'clock on Saturday morning in the Transform room, which is the big room. And she'll be doing an amazing talk that you won't want to miss. You're going to get a great activation and the newest possible energy, because I predict even between now and next weekend, it's going to change and be upgraded even more. And then both Gabrielle and Joel will be at booth 234 doing aura photography, aura readings, and healings. And I know, Gabby, you use a laser and some other fun things, and it's generally exactly what people need.
Right. I may even bring, yeah, I'll probably bring my laser with me, and also an eye machine that I have too.
Yeah.
So
Ooh, yeah, I want to see that. So
yeah, I'll bring it. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, so everything will be great, and we appreciate this, and thank you for having us on.
Thank you. Well, I'm so glad, and we'll see you next weekend. Thanks,
Okay.
everybody. See you there.
Sounds good. All right.
Bye.
Thanks.
You too.